Here are 7 potential Vinicius replacements Real Madrid could target if they decide to cash out. After the City loss, the mood surrounding Vinicius Jr flipped. With Mbappé out, Vini had space and service, yet showed little edge, rushed choices, missed finishes, and low intensity. Vinícius is sitting only on 5 goals and 7 assists in all competitions this season, while reports say he's pushing a €60 million gross wage package. That's why the Bernabéu clock feels loud. So, who replaces him? We start with the most era-changing option first. Coming in at number 7 is the one that sounds like a FIFA career mode headline, but it's actually more realistic than people think. Erling Haaland. Yes, he literally signed a mega-long City deal that runs to 2034. But his agent Rafael Leao has been pretty consistent on one thing: players should always have the key to the door if the right conditions appear. And the Madrid vibes don't feel imaginary either. He scored his penalty, his first goal at the Bernabéu, but didn't celebrate, one of those ice-cold moments that looked less like a visitor and more like someone picturing himself doing it in white. After that game, he was also asked about Jude Bellingham and talked about missing playing with him and their Dortmund memories. Now the football fit. Haaland and Mbappé don't step on each other the way Mbappé and Vini can. Haaland stays central, pins centre-backs, and finishes in the box. He's also naturally left-footed, which gives Madrid a different angle on their final touch. And Mbappé has literally explained how much easier life is when there's a true number 9 occupying the defence, so he can attack space instead of being forced to play as the pivot himself. Tactically, you can go 2 up top with Jude behind them, or a front 3 with Mbappé off the left and Haaland as the fixed 9. Either way, the only real risk is the obvious one: ego. But we've spent our whole lives wishing we could have seen Ronaldo and Messi on the same team. If Madrid ever get a modern version of that fantasy, this is it. At number 6, Mohamed Salah, and honestly, his current Liverpool situation is exactly why this feels more realistic than it did a month ago. Salah's had a very public clash with Liverpool, got benched repeatedly, and was even left out of a Champions League match by a club decision, the kind of drama that usually only ends one way: either a full reset or a goodbye. And yes, he's under contract until 2027, which means Liverpool don't have to sell. But tension changes everything, especially with January right there. From Madrid's side, it also fixes a real squad problem. They still need a true right winger. The clean version is Mbappé left, Salah right, and Madrid pick the best option at 9 depending on the game. The spicier version is Rodrygo left, Mbappé as the 9, Salah right. And suddenly roles are clearer than the Mbappé-Vini overlap argument. But the risk is obvious: ego. You'd be dropping another global superstar into a dressing room that already has its own orbit. And tactically, there's a real Alonso question. He demands intensity without the ball and collective pressing. Can Salah deliver that every week, especially if he's expected to be the main right-side outlet? And you can't ignore the timeline either. He's 33, so this is a win-now move, not a long-term rebuild piece. A straight January swap? That's still speculative. But with the noise rising on both sides, you can at least see the outline. Sliding in at number 5, Rafael Leao, the closest pure football replacement for Vinícius, because he brings that same left-wing threat that can win games even when the system isn't perfect. If Madrid want a like-for-like profile, Leao fits: explosive in transition, fearless in 1v1s, and able to turn one touch of space into a big chance. The idea is simple: Vini out, Leao in, and the Bernabéu still gets its weekly dose of wide chaos. Tactically, you've got 2 clean routes. 1, Leao left, Mbappé at 9, and you commit to a proper winger plus finisher structure. 2, a front 3 where Mbappé can drift left in big moments, while Leao stays wider and stretches the backline so Jude can arrive late. But there's a catch: he can also recreate the same problem Madrid have now. If Mbappé keeps drifting to the left, their zones can clash and the spacing gets messy. Add the deal reality: Milan tied him down to 2028 and a reported €175 million clause, plus Alonso's demand for pressing intensity. And the question isn't talent, it's whether Leao brings that edge every week under Bernabéu pressure. Quick pause: if this breakdown is hitting, hit like and subscribe, because the next names only get messier and more interesting. Let's continue. Number 4, Kenan Yildiz, the next era option. Not a like-for-like Vinícius clone, but a talent Madrid could turn into the next Bernabéu obsession. The key with Yildiz is how he fits the bigger puzzle, not just where he plays. He's the kind of attacker who can start wide, drift into the half space, and still show up in central zones like a second creator. That matters because Madrid's future attack is basically a constant question of partnerships. Who connects with Mbappé, who plays off Bellingham, what about Arda Güler? And who can add creativity without blocking lanes? In the cleanest version, you're looking at Mbappé left or central depending on the opponent, and Yildiz acting as the right-sided connector, the guy who receives between the lines, turns and feeds runners. It's less give him the ball and pray and more give him the ball and build patterns. But there's also a reality check. Madrid already have or can easily access similar profiles. If you're buying a young technical creator who can float, the shortlist is crowded. Franco Mastantuono and Brahim Diaz already exist inside the squad as plug-and-play drifters, and Nico Paz is the wild card because Madrid has paths to bring him back if they want another young creator who understands their ecosystem. That's why Yildiz is interesting but also tricky. He has to be special enough to justify the investment when Madrid might already have the shape of that role in-house. Coming in at number 3, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, the closest one on this list to replacing Vinícius's aura on the ball. Because Kvara isn't just a winger, he's that rare profile who makes defenders backpedal before he even touches the ball. The stop-start dribble, the shoulder feints, the way he turns a harmless 1v1 into a full emergency. If Madrid want a wide attacker who can create danger without perfect build-up, he's one of the few who genuinely fits that description. And yes, the storyline writes itself. Kvara has been linked with Dream Club talk for years and has spoken warmly about Madrid in the past, so fans will instantly frame it as destiny rather than business. Tactically, the big question is Mbappe's zone. If Madrid commit to Mbappé as the 9 more often, Kvara can live on the left and keep that flank terrifying. If Madrid insist Mbappé stays left wing, then Kvara has to become more flexible, either starting right and drifting inside or rotating constantly so they don't step on each other. The biggest obstacle is obvious. He's now at a super club, and those clubs don't sell unless the player pushes, the money is outrageous, or the timing is perfect. But if Alonso wants intensity, Kvara actually helps. He's not a passenger. He works, he tracks, he competes. The risk is simply expectation. At the Bernabéu, you don't get patience, you get a spotlight. Next up, number 2, Victor Osimhen. And in terms of what he solves, he's basically the same solution as Haaland, just in a more reachable package. A true box 9 who pins centre-backs and turns half chances into goals. The moment you have that, Mbappé stops having to be the pivot, and he can attack space the way he prefers, especially if Alonso wants that direct, high-tempo style with intensity from everyone. Same with Haaland, you can go Mbappé left, Osimhen 9 and let the left side stay deadly without 2 stars tripping over the same lane. Or you can go 2 forwards, Osimhen as the fixed striker, Mbappé roaming off him, with Jude arriving behind them like a second wave. The realism part is the deal. Osimhen isn't stuck in a complicated loan situation anymore. Galatasaray signed him permanently on a 4-year contract, and Reuters reported a structure that even includes a 10% sell-on for Napoli and a €15 million net guaranteed salary per season. That means Madrid would need serious money and a clear plan. And then there's the same question. Can he coexist with Mbappe's gravity and Bellingham's importance? If it clicks, it's terrifying. If it doesn't, it's a headline machine. And at number 1, the most boring answer that might be the smartest, Rodrygo. Because the cleanest Vinícius replacement might already be in the building. The big argument is fit. When Madrid go with 2 forwards, Rodrygo doesn't clog the same lane the way the Mbappé-Vini combo can at times. He's comfortable drifting inside, swapping sides, and doing the ugly work when the ball is lost. And when Rodrygo is on the pitch with Mbappé in La Liga this season, Mbappé has 14 goals and 3 assists in 14 appearances. That's a real signal that the pairing can function without stepping on each other's toes. Against Oviedo, Alonso benched Vinícius, started Rodrygo, and Madrid won 3-0 with Mbappé scoring twice. And even in the City loss at the Bernabéu, Rodrygo was the one who struck first, then Pep basically walked over and called him another level, which tells you how rival managers rate him. But here's the butterfly effect. If Rodrygo becomes Madrid's full-time left winger, what happens with Brazil? So Rodrygo replacing Vini at club level could easily turn into a brand new tension point internationally. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe. Drop Drop your pick in the comments and click the next video on your screen because the Vinícius saga is only getting louder.